Right, today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at this Magneto figure from Mafex. This is, what number is this? Oh, Mafex 128, huh? I like how they hidden it right here, the number. That's cool, because this kind of looks like a comic book, but usually they have it on the bottom, but here it is, Magneto. This is based on the new X-Men style Magneto. It's not the original style, but yeah, I don't read the comics, so I am not sure exactly which storyline this came out of, but I remember seeing this one in figure form by Hasbro, and decided to get the Mafex one instead because it's much cooler and it has a cloth cape. Alright, and here we have Magneto outside the packaging, and before we look at the figure, let's take a look at the accessories first. It comes with 3 extra set of hands. We have a pair of kind of magnetic pose hands, even though it doesn't have magnets that's attached to it. A pair of fists, and then a pair of gripping hands, and then a pair of relaxed hands, which he has on right now. And then it comes with a regular face with the helmet on. And then he comes with a head without the helmet, and then he comes with a head with a dark, shadowy face, and then he comes with the helmet itself, and then a pair of effect pieces with hands built into it, and I think that's it. Yeah, and then he also comes with that translucent base, which I'm just not going to show because it's not that big of a deal. That's not even a really good base anyway. Alright, so here we have the Magneto figure, and let me give you guys a closer look at him. Head sculpt is quite nice. I do like this look for him with the long hair. I kind of like this design more, but if you have long hair, you notice it has limitation as far as articulation. It is hindered because he does have a bunch of hair back here, so it does hinder articulation quite a bit. And the front with the 2 little pigtails, it does hinder as well. So yeah, they are making another version, which is the more traditional 90s version, the one with the shorter hair, like the Jim Lee style comics version, and also the 90s cartoon version. So you could get that one instead of this one if you are holding out to get a Magneto figure from Mafex. So as far as the head is concerned, it does have 2 joints though. It does have one. Oh god! Here you can see there's a ball joint right here, and this piece is it's built at an angle, so it for most figures, it will allow him to look back a little further, which is nice, but with this figure, it cannot because, again, it is hindered by the hairstyle. And then base of the neck, there's another joint, another ball joint there. And then shoulders on these ball hinge joints, and it is attached to the torso section, which allows him to move around. So it does have a little bit of the room, sort of a butterfly style. Not a true butterfly joint, but it is somewhat of a butterfly style. And then bicep does have a swivel rotation, and then elbows can bend over 90 degrees. It is double jointed, and then there's ball hinge wrists, so you get as full range as you can. And then as far as the torso and chest section, there's a ball joint up there. Sorry. So you can do a crunch and an arch back. Yeah, so quite a lot. And then as far as the legs is concerned, these are drop down legs, and they are on ball joints right there. And so we could drop down about that much versus not dropping down. So we could lift his legs over about 90 degrees, which is nice, and knee bend over 90 degrees, which is nice, and then ball hinge ankle and toes articulation. So yeah, so pretty much what you can expect if you have a Mafex figure. But what we're all dying to find out is whether these joints are tight or not. To me, it feels very solid. The legs, I'm very tight, which is nice. Usually the ball joints, usually Mafex figures, this is the part where it's loose. Knees are okay, ankles are, I wish they're a little tighter, but they're okay. And yeah, shoulders are fine, shoulders, elbows, everything's fine. This figure, yeah, as far as the joints, it feels good. It feels solid. If I'm giving it 10 points, I would say this is a 7.5 or so, somewhere around there. It's not loose, but it's not like really, really tight. Not like 3-0 type of tight. So yeah, let me put the other head on. Well, you know what? Let me put this on. The unmasked head is how he looks without the mask on. He looks great without the mask. I think this is a really good look for Magneto with the long hair. I do like his style with the long hair in the comics from the pictures I've seen. But again, as far as the articulation is concerned, this is the one that's gonna limit mobility quite a bit. Initially, I wanted to cut these off. No, I want to take it apart and then just remove it that way, because that way I could at least put it back together if I need to. But it is glued down towards the top section, and I don't know what type of glue they use. It is quite hard, so I wasn't able to remove it. It would have been nice if I could have at least one head that I could give it a full range of motion, but because I was going to use this head, because this is just a dark shadowy head. I'll put it on just to show you guys what it looks like with that on. Okay, so this is off. Let's put this one in. So, whoops. Didn't get it all the way in yet. So let me see. There we go. Here's the shadowy head sculpt. Quite nice. You can see the white eyes shining through, which is cool. But you don't see any, no mouth or anything like that. You can't see it because it's all so dark in there. Something that's interesting, the helmet is actually hard plastic. So these little tip in the front, they are hard plastic. So be a little careful with it when you're messing with it. You don't want to break these pieces off. So yeah, it's interesting they use hard plastic for the helmet. But the hair strands, of course, they have to use a softer type of material, just so it could give a little bit, so you can move his head at least a little bit. So right now, this is about, I guess you can, I mean, like that, you could do, like that, you could do, but the hair strand does get in the way. Looking up, not so much. I guess if you use a hair dryer to soften up the plastic first, you should be able to get him to look up a little bit more. Look down a little bit, just a tiny bit. Yeah, not a whole lot. And one thing interesting is the cape. The material is completely different than what they showed in the promo pics. I know this figure came out a good few months ago. I'm not sure whether they updated the cape or not, but this it's not that fabric material that you can see in the back of the on the back of the box or in the promo pics. This is completely different. The material on the inside is a little bit sticky, which kind of, I mean, it's not to a point where like silicone where it tracks dust or anything, but it does stick to itself. So if you put it in the box, it will stick to the body, and in a way, I kind of don't mind that, because that way I could manipulate the cape, like fold it in, and it doesn't flop out everywhere. So here you can see, I mean, it flops out a little bit, but if I let it sit for a little bit longer, tugged in, sit a little bit longer, it should stay put. And from the front, now if I'm not touching it, I mean, this looks fine. It looks quite nice actually. It does drape quite nicely. Yeah, the back does flare out a little bit, but again, for it to stick to itself, give it a little time, then it will kind of stick. And or you could just readjust it however you want, and then leave it in the box for a little bit. And when you take it out, it'll be completely like this. So, which is kind of interesting. I don't mind that at all. But initially, when you see the promo pics, that's what you were expecting to come with the figure, but in reality the material is completely different. The cape is completely different than what you're getting in your hand. Alright, and here I have Magneto with the flame effect pieces on. They look quite nice. Actually, I think with proper lighting he's gonna look quite amazing. Let me refocus him so his face is in focus. So yeah, he looks quite good with these flame effects, and yeah, let's just look at him, quite nice. And let me give you another look with different accessories on. And I forgot to mention the cape is wired up, so well, not the bottom but the side, they are wired up, so you can manipulate the cape a little bit, and which is kind of cool. And here I have him with the his magnetism type of hands, I guess. Yeah, right there, the open palms. So yeah, kind of cool with Magneto. And finally, I have Magneto holding on to the helmet with one hand and giving you a fist on the other. So yeah, I'll just give you one last look at this Magneto before I end this video. Figure-wise, I like it. Again, the joints are okay tight, not super tight. That's what I kind of want, but overall I think this is a decent looking figure. As far as Magneto, he's one of my favorite characters. I don't know if it's because he's red or he has this great hairstyle or something, but he's my he's one of my favorite, one of the coolest X-Men villain that I've seen, and one that I like quite a bit. And I do like the helmet quite a bit, and yeah, it doesn't translate well in film, but this outfit does not translate well in film, but for cartoon I think it works perfectly. And I'm happy to have this in my collection. And once again, the cape, the material, let's see, how would I categorize this? It feels a little bit like a little bit like an umbrella type of material, but it is a little bit thicker. It felt like they added a coat of something on there, a coat of material on there, make it a little bit sticky in a way, to help with the articulation, perhaps, maybe, not sure. But yeah, it drapes okay because of that, but yeah, I am okay with the material. I think if they use that cloth-like material from the promo pic, it might drape a little bit better, because that material seems to be a little heavier, maybe, but maybe it will be a little bit thicker, and maybe that's why they didn't use it. I don't know. But overall, I'm happy with this material. I don't mind it, and turns out okay, turns out great. And yeah, figure-wise, I like this design a bit more than the traditional Magneto colors. And yeah, this one has more red than purple. I think the other one has a good amount of purple as well. But overall, I'm happy with this one. And the material for the helmet is, it feels like model kit type of plastic. And if you're wondering how it looks on the inside, you can see there's a indentation there. There's where they apply the glue to the other heads, I guess. And if I drop this, you can kind of hear the material. You can kind of hear that clinky sound. Yeah, it's thin like the like model kit type of material. So yeah, that's the material you are getting with this helmet. Alright, and here's a side-by-side comparison with Marvel Legends Cyclops. And as far as his height, he is about 6.25, 6.35, somewhere around there. And it's almost 6.5 inches, not quite. You can see if you're putting him side by side with your Marvel Legends, he should be able to fit in quite nicely. Maybe not as beefy as the Marvel Legends. The head seems to be a little smaller than the Marvel Legends with the helmet on. So yeah, overall he does look like he is built a little differently as far as body proportion, I like them both actually. The Legend is cool. I don't have the Magneto to show you guys, sorry, but that's why I'm showing you Cyclops instead. But body proportion, I think both has its own weaknesses and also his pros. I think they're fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with either one of them. But the Legends cost about what, 25, 28, 30, somewhere around there. This is triple its price. It's about 90 if you're, it depends on where you get it. Yeah, it's about 90 bucks. Yeah, it's about triple the price. So that you have to wonder whether that's worth it for you or not. It does come with extra accessories. It comes with 3 extra heads and a bunch of hands, which the Cyclops does not. And even the older version of Cyclops doesn't come with this amount of accessories, and also a base to go with it, and a cloth cape. So, well, yeah, the Legends no. Magneto, it doesn't come with a cloth cape, but this one does. So yeah, take your pick. To me, I think it's worth it because it's built nicely. It's not as strong. It's not as durable as Legends, because they're more durable. They're meant to mess with a lot more than Mafex. Mafex are nice. They're more for a couple of poses, and you're probably gonna leave it there like that. But Legends, you can mess with it all day and without anything going loose or anything like that. So yeah. But to me, I would still say it's worth it, to me at least. But you're gonna have to pick and choose when it comes to these characters, because can't buy them all. That's way too much in price, way too much in money. But if you pick and choose, Magneto would be a good one to choose from, I guess, for me at least. So there you go. There's Mafex Magneto figure. And thanks for watching.